WCLN 1170 Radio and Cable Channel 16 are pleased to present We Should Know, hosted by J.W. Simmons, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative as we consider closely what we should know.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. J.W. Simmons here. The name of the show is We Should Know. We're pleased to be with you today. Particularly, I have two guests that are friends of mine, friends of yours that you know, that's been engaged in this community, I'll say a few years. Johnny Pridgen, thank you for being here. Dr. Paul Viser, thank you for being here. We're talking about Sampson Partners today, something that folks know about. They may know about it from different names in the past, but you guys have been, should I say, engaged in the community in various capacities over the years. And when I look back at Sampson Partners in those early years, we're back in the 80s. Johnny, let me start with you. You actually got family ties way back with this whole organization.
JW, that is correct. My father, Reverend J.C. Pridgen, was working with the Clinton Ministerial Alliance back in the 1980s. They're about the middle thereof. And they established saw a need for what we call a soup kitchen. And that's how it started, basically, and they worked with a lot of the churches to set up, and it was right here at the Episcopal Church in that particular time, which would engage per week, do it on a Thursday, as I can remember, of having the soup kitchen. And eventually that went on for quite a while, and then they looked at other opportunities, which basically was organizing, and then from there, with a collection of churches they organized, and became the United Churches of Sampson County. And they basically had an operation out of the little store building on Sampson Street. They operated there for many years, and then they took on programs such as food distribution. Then eventually they added clothing distribution and everything. And I believe one of the presidents was the first one that I can call as record was Mr. Lee Pridgen, which was the hospital administrator, and I have had the pleasure of working very closely with him. So that's kind of like how it started, pretty much, and evolved to a certain point at that particular time. Then later on, as it continues to grow, then saw the need and everything, I don't remember, maybe Dr. Viser can add, under the leadership, they purchased the building on East Main Street, which is now referred to as 309 East Main Street for the operation there. And then of course, Doc can probably take a little bit more from there, because I believe he was on board at that particular time, serving, I don't know if he was in what capacity he was in, but he was pretty much involved in it.
It's interesting, because as I hear you discuss this, it's that idea of bringing the community together to do something good for people that are in need. And when I say that in the sense of in need, I'm talking about they're in serious needs, not even a place to sleep sometime, or nothing to sleep on. It's one of those things that was not only great back then, but you had people, leaders like Lee Pridgen, your father, and others that were behind that. And I particularly like the story of how the churches came together.
Yes.
Paul, kind of pick it up from there and tell us, in your engagement in it, I want to kind of get it a little bit personal here. Why did Dr. Paul Viser decide to step into this world of giving, caring, and involve yourself in charity work in the community? To me, that's always been pretty powerful. Johnny, I don't know whether you feel me on that or not, but that's pretty powerful.
Exactly.
And not putting you on the spot, but to have somebody with your expertise say, I'm going to do this.
Well, our church, Grace Memorial Presbyterian Church, along with First Baptist 900 College Street, were in the original group. And on the original board, not only Reverend Pridgen, Johnny's dad, but also Bill Fulton, a little known fact. He was the only non-minister on the original board. And when my family moved here in 1990, Bill was looking for to to roll out of that position, and sometime around 1992, I started being involved. And our format at that time was like a lot of nonprofits. We raise money and then do things. And and at that time, we were delivering direct support, and that's how we changed our name about 1988 to the Sampson Crisis Center. We would intervene in crises, and the most emblematic of those would be if somebody got burned out of their house. They had immediate needs, and we could respond faster than government and a lot of things. We got on the scene and took care of business there. And that was our model for about 25 years. We're in our 37th year, so we've been around a while. But our model for the longest time was we would raise money, we would deliver relief directly to recipients, and sometimes in an emergency manner. Then Johnny might have to help me with this, is about the early 2000s, we started to have trouble getting the funds that we needed to fulfill our mission. And that was partly due to allowing, unintentionally of course, allowing our expenses to get out of hand. And we went back each year to United Way and asked for money, and they were our major supporter for at least 20 years. But things just got so they weren't as successful. Our expenses were going up, our income was going down, and so Johnny, what year was that the relief services temporarily shut down, but the thrift shop continued to operate? When was that? That was about
2015.
Yeah, okay.
About 2015.
Yeah, and amazingly, even after the above the fold page 1, Sampson Independent said, Sampson Crisis Center in crisis. That was somewhat true, but the thrift shop never closed.
That was a pretty traumatic headline.
It was.
Yes.
Crisis Center in crisis. That tells you,
that's exactly
if
what
they're in crisis, can you think about what everybody else is going through?
Exactly.
But anyway, it's after a few years of that, in 2018, Johnny and his pastor, Reverend Farrow, who now serves a church in Charlotte, but they were the leadership. I mean, they were the leadership. The thrift shop never closed. Margaret Spivey, Gloria Lee. I mean, they're like institutions all by themselves.
Johnny, was it hard at that time? Is I want to kind of switch back to you just for a second. Was it hard at that time to get the grit to say this is not going to stop? We've got to make this continue.
Well, there was no doubt about it, as Doc alluded to, and Reverend Farrell came on board, basically taking over as the director, and I assisted him at that particular time. And as Doc indicated, the thrift shop never stopped. Matter of fact, it expanded because people still gave a lot of items such as clothing and household goods and everything. The question was a reformatting. And during that time in about 2015, that's when the reformatted. Reverend Farrell took a position in Charlotte with a church there. So I was kind of like, in limbo at that particular time of what to do. The thrift shop still going, but the accountability was still there. We did not do the things such as trying to help individuals that had gone through crisis, such as we did medical, rent, electricity, and of course, one of the biggest things was the food program that we had every Wednesday. The people would come there and go through, but that had all terminated when we made that tough decision that we need to close down the basic operation from of the direct support, but we kept that, so we reformatted. And then I went out and to a couple of organizations and talked with them about coming on board with the Crisis Center. They said, let me think about it, whatever. I went to some nonprofit, and everything. So when they said that, they didn't want to be involved from the standpoint of the operation of it and everything. Then I constituted some previous members, and one of them was Dr. Viser. We had a meeting,
Johnny, I'm going to interrupt because you're not going to tell this right. I mean,
is he being too gracious? Is he being too gracious?
Well, no, he's just not. I mean, this is the way I received it, is that Johnny said, okay, this has been fun, but I need some help, or we need to shut the doors down.
Yeah.
And sunset the nonprofit. That's what you do. You just give your assets to some other nonprofit.
Yeah, exactly.
Walk away. At the time that he called this group together, and it was just an informal assemblage of people who had been involved in the past. And I had been inactive for several years when Johnny contacted me. And so he got us in the room and said, okay, well, by the way, we have $165,000 in our checking account. We make a profit every week, and we don't have any debt. And so should we close the doors, or should we reorganize in a more effective organizational structure? That was easy. I said, no, we're not giving this away to anybody. This is amazing. And so that just lit a fire in me, because that was just unheard of. And it still is. People just shake their heads at the financial strength of our organization. But I mean, the last time I'd heard, we were in debt. And
we're going to take a break at $165,000. When we come back, I want you to kind of tell folks what happened, because I'm kind of feeling where you were, Paul, is that with that kind of set, and then what Johnny was talking about, the whole reset, something happened. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. We're talking about Sampson Partners, the history, the historical development, where they're going, where they are now, and how you can participate. We'll be back in a moment.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
You're out for an evening on the town. Finally a chance to relax and forget that you left your front door completely unlocked. Fortunately, you just installed a security system from Star Communications. With just your cell phone, you can check on your house, lock it down, light it up, and get back to relaxing.
He forgot to put Buster in his crate.
Unfortunately, we can't help with that. Security and automation from Star Communications. Call today to find out more.
Most aging adults want to stay in their homes as long as possible. And as your loved ones get older, you want to support them, even when you can't be there. Star is proud to offer Star Alert. This new system is now mobile and has GPS compatibility, so your loved ones can live their lives and you can have peace of mind, knowing they can get the help they need with just the simple push of a button. The new Star Alert also offers automatic fall detection, so help will be alerted even if they can't press the button. Call and ask about Star Alert today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you for being with us today. We're talking with Johnny Pridgen. We're talking with Dr. Paul Viser. We're talking with both of these gentlemen about something that you may have heard about, and it's something called Sampson Partners. It's something called a contribution area. It's something that dispenses stuff. It's something that has a deep history. Gentlemen, when we went to break, the term $165,000 was left laying on the table. And moving forward with that as a chest, should I say, of financial assets, Paul, you made a decision, or somebody made a decision collectively.
Well, we
can't close the door.
We did that collectively, but it just lit a fire. Because that's just so unheard of. I said, okay, we need to reorganize and make us into a more efficient structure. In the past, we were a collection of churches. We've always been a Christian organization. We still are. That's our primary mission. But we used to had church members, and the churches would send their representatives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that got so it didn't work so well. We were a very significant organization
Mm-hmm.
that did not have the freedom to choose our leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how can you be successful when outside entities are choosing your leadership? So that had to change.
Mm-hmm.
So we changed, we reorganized. We're still the same. We still have our same tax designation, and the basics of what we do is the same. But we reorganized, and we're a group of people now.
So that the
board of
structure
directors
morphed into a different structure, but the same people.
Well, we determine our leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We formed a new leadership board right there,
Mm-hmm.
and not because we were representing churches, but just as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, we're a working board. JW, you've been around long enough. You've been on boards.
Oh yeah.
That people are honored to be named to the board, and they come to the meetings, and we didn't want that. We are a working board.
Engaged.
Absolutely, they have to be. In fact, we've made that very clear. Although, anyway, we've made that very clear. We want to be a working board, and what does that do?
Mm-hmm.
That eliminates an executive director. I mean, think of county government, city government, the community college. Most organizations, you have a group that selects the leader.
Only. It's governance.
Well, it is, and then they select either the college president or the mayor or the county commissioners choose a manager. Well, we cut out that. So our group, each one of us has something that we do and we're responsible for. We don't have an executive director. We don't have a paid assistant executive director. And we already had $165,000 in the bank. So this just really juiced our operations and made them efficient, and we're all engaged. And so that was essential.
So I'm seeing the name Peggy Belvin, Willie Mitchell, Johnny Pridgen, Margaret Spivey, Paul Viser, Rhonda West.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mostly past chairs.
Or secretaries or were involved they were involved.
That was was that
the nucleus.
basically that core.
That was the nucleus
group that said that this door is not going to be closed. We're fixing to.
Right. And
it was based on the sales of the thrift shop itself. Was the major cash amount? That's where it comes from.
100% of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Now we since 2018. When we reorganized that summer in July of 18, we have not sought cash donations. Now we get some cash donations, and we're happy to have that, especially when the building was going up. But we don't operate on that. And we're not here today to ask for donations.
Sure.
We that's not what we need. We need human capital. We don't need anybody's checkbook. We do that as one of our board members, Will Kopp, said before the Kiwanians. We turn people's discarded items and furniture into gold. And
I know a lot of environmentalists would love to have you on their board. I'm just saying that's a big deal right now. What do we do with this?
Well, it just more and more was apparent to us that we were doing a darn good job running the thrift shop, and that we were just going to focus on that.
One word one of you guys used was metamorphosis. I don't know who used that word, but
that's too big a word. That has about 12 letters.
It was a big word, but it hit exactly what you're saying perfectly.
Yep.
Well, we just decided to simplify things. We're not going to go before United Way. We're not going to ask for cash donations. We're just going to run the thrift shop, and when people have stuff that they can't use, give it to us. We'll turn it into gold, and every dime of our distributions to nonprofits stays in Sampson County, and none of us get paid.
Say that again. Stays
in
Sampson County.
That's huge. I mean,
it is
don't
huge.
Go slow saying that, because I want folks to understand. A lot of times, donations do not stay in the area that it's produced from.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Volunteers have always been the bedrock of our operation because not only are the board of directors working for nothing, the volunteers are working for nothing by definition. We have a couple of positions running the cash register. We do compensate for it, but I mean, this is a drop in the bucket compared to the heavyweight obligations that we had in the past. That's gone. Mm-hmm. We run a clean, efficient operation. It's absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And so it was shortly after we reorganized that I don't know how we became aware of this, but Lou Starling had property contiguous with ours on East Main Street. And I just called him up. I said, gosh, Lou, we'd sure like to develop that piece of property. He said, well, Paul, I wasn't planning on selling it, but I'll sell it to y'all. And, at that point, we put on our running shoes, basically. And so much so it was alarming to my wife, because she didn't know where I was going to come up with the energy to do this. But I mean, we had just reorganized. Johnny just did this amazing thing during this period of dormancy. When prior to 2018, Lou Starling sold us that property right next to ours, and we went before the public in January of 19. And this was also in the paper, above the fold, page 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we told the public, and we had that easel in that room, and it had a picture, artist rendering of our new building, which did not yet exist. Mm-hmm. We said we're gonna design, build, pay for, and dedicate that building in 12 months.
That was bold. That was bold. Johnny, what did you think? I'm
going to tell you like this. As Doc tells the story, he like he told me, he don't always tell all of it. Because one of the things in our reorganization that I saw, we had a cadre of people, and I saw from him the love, because he had served on the board and he had retired the original debt on 309 under his leadership and everything. And then after a little bit of coaching, we said, well, we put him up for president because, he had vision. And then I said, well, look, here's my specialty dealing with the finances, okay?
Yeah. Johnny handles all the money.
Well, say that correct, Doc.
That's the reason you got as much money as you got.
The thing about it is we formed together and have a beautiful working relationship, just like, hand in glove.
It's not hierarchical.
Exactly. We correspond on everything, and of course, the entire board works as new members have come in now, as Doc has indicated. So with that, and as we made through his connection, made the purchase, because we had the money, and which was a blessing, to purchase. Mayor Starling sold it to us at a very good rate. He also sold us the plans that went with it.
Wow.
So and everything. And then if people saw over a period of at least less than 12 months, we hired a local contractor here because we try to do everything locally here. HN Carr came in and took the plans, with Doc making some adjustments and modification, and they built that within 12 months. And on top of that, we went out to the community, and we can't say enough about the community and their response. They've always responded, because that's how they retired the original debt in the purchase of 309. They came in and made contributions. And we went to the community and sent letters or whatever, and they came in supporting, and now they can see see as a result of their giving what has transpired and everything, and everything. Yeah. So that's a beautiful building. That one, it houses our furniture operation, which is now we get some of the best furniture and everything. And on top of that, through Doc, partnered with Sampson Community College, you know. Say,
Good
well, okay,
organization.
let's have a place downtown where people, can, you know, and they utilize that place quite a bit there and everything. And it's been a blessing. And now, of course, on top of that, we've added Habitat for Humanities, that dock through dock, and the coordination thereof in our little front room there to set up an office to help people. It's about helping, no rent or whatever, you know, and that type of thing, you know, and everything. So that's pretty much how we, you know, as far as getting that done. And now we still get some contributions people are going to give to us. You know, as it relates to, because of our purpose. We're about distributing money. And recently in our meeting, we just came up with 50% of our net profit is to be distributed each month.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to pick it up right there. The building net profits. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're talking about Sampson Partners. We're talking about, in these next two segments, we're going to talk about how you can participate in the important role you have.
To get the most out of your electronic devices, you need a strong internet connection and a protected home Wi-Fi network. You need high-speed internet from Star. Star has the fastest, most affordable high-speed internet service available for all your devices. We have no long-term contracts or high-pressure sales. Our service speaks for itself, and switching is hassle-free. We take care of everything with free installation from a local company. High-speed internet from Star. Internet at the speed of light. Just because something may work doesn't mean it's right for your business. Let Star Communications' knowledgeable consultants help you customize a hosted voice system that's right for you. Our dedicated experts work with you to understand your business needs and guide you at every step, from choosing and installing services to ongoing maintenance and support. Contact Star today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. J.W. Simmons here. The name of the show is We Should Know. I'm talking with Johnny Pridgen today. I'm talking with Paul Viser, Dr. Paul Viser. And we're talking about partners. We're talking about Sampson Partners. We're talked in the first two segments, gentlemen, we talked about the development, the history, where we are. We're now on Main Street. We're at a property, Paul, that was developed in 12 months because of assets the thrift shop had. That building has now come to fruition.
Yeah.
Pick it up from there.
Well, I just wanted to, that was a $400,000 building.
Some people say that's a deal.
When we dedicated the building, just weeks before COVID brought the world to an end for
as we know it anyway.
We got that building dedicated, and it was paid for within 30 days. It was just a matter of moving money around. And you're not going to believe this, but I don't know how many people Johnny asked. I asked about 8 people for money, and these, I don't mean the big chunks of money. I just went to people I thought their feelings would be hurt if I did not go to them.
Sure.
And I'm serious about that when I say it. I think another factor was that our ages, you know, that we, at the time that we did this, I'd been here, 25 years or so. Johnny been here forever. And people knew that we were not going to stand before the public and say we're going to do something and not do it.
You valued your reputation.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And they knew we were putting it on the line. And, you know, that's a big hurdle with any project, especially a very large project like this. If people know it's going to succeed, how about a political candidate? You know, you don't want to contribute to their campaign if they lose, and then but you can kind of look at it this way. People knew it was going to work because we said it was going to
and you'd already proven
to work.
You had proven that it's going to work.
That's right. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that out. Now, let me talk about the present. What led me to ask you 2 or 3 weeks ago if we could come back on this show. We've discovered that as much as we live and breathe Sampson Partners, that some of our closest customers and donors of household goods and furniture, not cash.
Sure.
A lot of them don't know what our basic business model is, and it's simply this. So Will Kopp said, you know, we need to put some signs up in our stores. So the sign that I brought here today is on that easel It's exactly the same blow up that's in our Furniture Plus store and our Shop on Main store. And it basically, I'm not going to read it to you,
Sure.
but it's like a mission statement. It simply says, we are a Christian organization. We run a thrift shop. Our success is based on our volunteers. Give us the things you don't want. We'll turn it into money. It stays in Sampson County. We listed a few things like college scholarships, United Way. And then finally our purpose is to glorify God through service to our brothers and sisters. I mean, people didn't know these basic facts. They kind of had an idea. So that's why we're here today. I want people to know that's what we do. We did things in the past that are similar perhaps, but right now we're a thrift shop. We're doing God's work. We're successful because of volunteers, and we've got some good leadership too. I mean, Will Kopp is just unbelievable. And I asked Bill Scott when he retired, there was a feeding frenzy when Bill Scott announced his retirement because he's been so deeply engaged in this community.
Absolutely.
Everybody wanted Bill to join their club. And he said, well, I'd love to do that. And he, of course, is very knowledgeable about financial matters, and he's been a great addition too. So we have good leadership.
Quality people doing God's work.
Thank you.
That's very straightforward.
Yes.
Exactly.
Go right ahead.
And anyway, and so we're still looking for. We need another couple of board members. Our bylaws call for 7. We need a couple of board members. We want to have the whole community represented.
Sure.
We want to reflect, like any business, and in my office, in my medical practice, I want my staff to reflect the population that we serve. And so we're looking for a board member that gets excited about this.
Okay.
We don't need somebody to come to the meetings. That's 1 hour per month. And we need somebody to fill in that other, 15, 20 hours of actual work on site, boots on the ground. And those people are out there. We just need to get the word out. And that was one thing we wanted to get out today.
Well, with your permission, we're going to post 910-596-7023. And I don't know, Johnny, do you know any other medical doctor that would give his cell phone number out publicly? I just want to ask. I'm asking Johnny that question. I just blows me away.
No, that's the furniture pickup line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't ask
That's how engaged he is in this.
And I asked him that off air. That's the reason I felt comfortable with saying that.
Thank you.
I asked him that off air, and that is total engagement.
It is.
That's an example.
Well, I'm not putting on a show. I mean, that's just, we're trying to cut out any reason not to give us furniture. And of course, the other things, the reason I don't mention the other things is that they can be brought in a car. But let me tell you something that will surprise you. We thought when we opened the furniture store that our revenues were going to double or triple. No, our engine, the main engine financially of our organization is T-shirts and pants and shoes to the tune of 10 to 12,000 gross revenue per month. Wow. And furniture, we no matter, even when we have big inventory, big pretty days, lots of shoppers, I mean, we do the best we can do with furniture is $3,000 a month. Wow. So if you have T-shirts and you sell them for 50 cents, but you sell 5,000 of them, it adds up.
Small ticket items.
Exactly.
Yes.
Is big income.
Yes. So we get this stuff, and that's the secret too. People give us their things that have value left in them, but they're not wanting them anymore, and they bring them to us, and we turn it into cash.
So when you look at it, and I'm circling back to something, when you look at it, we've got a lot of steeples in this county. There's a lot of steeples. I mean, you guys have traveled throughout the county. I've done it for years.
I think there are 150.
Yeah, and there's steeples everywhere. So how are you, or are you encouraging churches to engage with your organization? Are you encouraging churches to say, bring stuff to us. If your church says we want to collect, if anybody's got any clothes in their closet they need cleaning out, bring it to the church. We'll pick it up. We'll help you get it to us. Do I hear that coming out?
Well, that's mostly not necessarily the churches as it is. You can come directly.
Yeah.
And of course, you just mentioned Dr. Viser's phone number on there for furniture pickup, which is kind of rare. Picking up, just go to the house and pick it up. But a lot of the items that come in through our side door on Canesta Street there, where you could drop it off basically from Monday to Saturday. From the hours of 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Monday through Friday, and on Saturday from 9 to 2. You know, and everything. And of course, if you want to bring the furniture, that can be the same way, but that operates on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 9 to 4, and also on Saturday from 9 to 5.
So it's
I was 9 to 2, I'm sorry.
It's easy to do. You really don't need an intermediary. You just bring it and drop it off.
Yeah.
There's some things that just kind of dropped out of the sky fortuitously. One is the design of Canesta when the downtown was rejuvenated and the curbing and a lot of plantings. I want you to look at it next time. There is a double width to Canesta right by our door.
Yeah.
I think that was a complete accident. But people can pull their cars up. They can unload their clothing or smaller items that go to the main store. I mean, they're taking 5 steps from their car to where we sort through the things. 5 steps.
Yeah.
And they're not holding up traffic.
Not a bit.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, we've got some of the most prime real estate that we could possibly have.
Johnny, I'm sitting here wondering, did it just happen?
Well, it did.
Was there divine intervention here somewhere?
Well,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's a good question, and everything. But it just worked out that way, especially in the acquisition of 309 East Main Street there. That large facility was used for so many other things. So eventually, when it was acquired under Doc's administration there, that it really changed. Now, one of the other things I want to mention and talk about is the name. So a lot of people refer to us still as the Crisis Center, but when Doc came on and we looked at a new vision and everything, Sampson Partners. Now, what does that incorporate? Just like you say, it's partners with agencies in Sampson County, individuals, our donors, customers, all form a partnership of working together, and everything. And through that, on top of that, on the 309, we changed that name from the thrift shop, and Doc refers to that now as Shop on Main. We try to set, because
Actually, Mary Rose suggested that.
Well,
I'm going to give her credit.
Okay.
And she's not bashful about that.
No, and I want to stay on her good side, because she makes things happen in downtown Clinton.
Because things change. From a thrift shop, these are quality items that come into our thrift shop.
You're going to want some of that stuff.
This stuff comes from Walmart, Belts, some of the leading stores that people make.
Probably some high-end stuff.
Very high-end.
Yeah.
And the furniture, like I said about that, that's old. That's not your, that's furniture that has lasted over the years. Quality type furniture, and everything. So it has done tremendous. But also we have, and I keep going back to, as Doc indicated, we have a cadre of volunteers. If it weren't for the volunteers, we have roughly about 40 volunteers that come. Well, actually, it's up to about 60 now, because we just recently reformatted our store, furniture store. Well, it's now all volunteers that come in. That's why Doc was making an appeal for volunteers.
We're going to have to go to break. We're going to come right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. We're going to pick it up with volunteers and come to the last segment and tell you some of the things that they're getting in and some of the things you can bring.
Experiencing slow internet? If you have a fast internet package, the problem is most likely your wireless router. With more devices using Wi-Fi, your wireless router may not be able to deliver the speed and coverage you need. We now have the leading solution to enhance your internet experience. Using small devices in a mesh network, these Wi-Fi appliances cover just about any size home, so that all your devices can operate to their fullest potential. Whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Get the most out of your internet connection.
Eastern North Carolina is a beautiful place where we gladly choose to call home, and we strive to provide the best communications services. Star is committed to improving communications to all our service areas, because we want to improve the communities where we not only work, but also live. Star Communications. We are neighbors serving neighbors.
Star 16 is your channel for local announcements, event information, and scenic camera views from surrounding areas. Enjoy local programming such as At the Table and the We Should Know Show, along with other special community presentations. During the months of March and April, Star 16 will feature the Community Storytelling Festival series with a new episode airing each week and previous episodes uploaded to Star's exclusive local video on demand. Star 16, bringing the local community to your living room.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The name of the show is We Should Know. My name is J.W. Simmons. I'm your host. Want to remind you, you can reach us at weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. We should know edu@gmail.com or Post Office Box 1482, and that's in Clinton, North Carolina 28329. Our guest today is Johnny Pridgen. Paul Viser, Dr. Paul Viser. We're talking about Sampson Partners. We have given folks a huge amount of information in what you guys know has been a short period of time for such a large organization. We've come down to location of Sampson Partners and the building that you're in now. We've talked about unloading clothing, things that can be recycled, stuff that you need to get rid of. A lot of households, Paul, are out there with thinking right now, I've got a closet full of stuff. I've been wondering what I'm going to do with it. And it might be a year old, and it's nice cashmere. It might be whatever. But they can donate it to you, and it's a 501(c)(3) organization. It's tax deductible, right?
Yes.
That's correct.
So what's holding people up? Johnny, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I don't know what's holding it, but it comes in spurts and everything. As we get more of the word out, people realize, because we recently, when the Beehive closed down, we were super swamped. And of course, we get a lot of donations at the year end, and the reason for that, because of the tax.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And we still have a lot of people coming in, bringing in quality products, items that we can display and sell. And as I mentioned earlier about the volunteers, one of the things, once it comes in, we have a cadre of volunteers that come in there and work, give their time. They love it. And unfortunately, most of them are women, as you know, and everything, not knock the men, because,
yeah, exactly.
But coming in,
the best role models you can have.
Exactly. Sorting and displaying those items and everything and working. And we also take items that if we cannot use, we have partnered with other organizations to take those items and they use them for redistribution throughout the world or to third world countries and that type of stuff. So it doesn't go to waste, because we very rarely throw things in the dumpster there and everything, so. But I just can't say enough about our volunteers. And on our staff, we just basically have 2 paid who have been dedicated, as Doc indicated there, and that's because they got to have somebody there that's the supervisor and everything, and that's Miss Gloria Lee and Miss Margaret Spivey. She's a fantastic young lady.
And they love what they do.
Margaret really loves, not to say Gloria doesn't, but Margaret really loves what she does and everything, Then also we have partnered with the National Council of Aging, which is for senior citizens, I say senior, over 55, that can go to the local organization here. We can provide that information, and we utilize them. They are paid by other entities. Yeah. And of course, now from time to time, we do get community service workers who come down there, and we utilize that, and that they come from the court and everything. So,
But they're all contributing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's about partnership. Sure. We're utilizing all the agencies and that type of thing, and everything. And we just really enjoy that relationship that we have in helping our community. Now, another thing, as it relates to in the distribution, how do we distribute the funds? Well, I have tried to encourage all of our board members to find organizations that are helping our citizens. You know, if your organization is helping in some capacity, food banks, education in terms of scholarships, that type of thing, because one of the things we like to do is distribute money. And you can follow us in that regard on our what we call Facebook page, Sampson Partners Inc.
Okay.
And you see, cause we try to show people, you know, we don't give the amount. And of course, when you mention the transparency, everyone is invited to our board meeting on the third Tuesday of each month at 100 Fairfield Street at 4 o'clock. It's open to the public. Anyone who would like to come, you know, is welcome to come. Matter of fact, we Doc started inviting, and I have some individuals to come in and talk to us, so we can learn more about what you do and that type of thing. You know, so.
Some quality people doing good things. I'm going to segue to you, Paul, kind of fill in. There was several things you wanted to mention.
Well, I wanted to mention Vance Street. A 3,000 square foot building on Vance Street was donated to Sampson Partners, and we're under we're in the process of renovating that building. It'll probably take the better part of the year, but we're excited about that. We're paying for that out of cash flow. It's exciting that we're able to do that. We will need it to handle the pretty brisk ebbs and flows in our inventory, so we need some extra space. And but also the front of that Vance Street building will be divided into halves and will be rented out as retail space. So that's exciting. That's something that's happening. I wanted another thing we're doing, because our growth has been really it's been brisk, and we are re-examining our tax status just to make sure that we haven't outgrown our previous designation, because there's more to it than, say, 501c3, which we are.
Right.
But there are subcategories, and we're in the process of formally making sure that we have the correct classification, because we're squeaky clean, but we want it to be outwardly obvious with our documentation and with our IRS filings that we're squeaky clean. So what needs do we have? We don't need money, but we do need the things that make us really go. And we've already mentioned the donations, donations of items that people no longer have a need for. We need volunteers. We always need them. Now, the furniture store, that is so easy, because it just takes one person to run our furniture store. They're just serving as a clerk. They don't have to move furniture. They don't have to handle money. They just are basically the face of Sampson Partners during the time that they're there. We usually ask people to serve about 4 hours. We're open just 3 days a week. So we need more people to do that. We also, again, want people to consider us if they have an itch to be a leader and are also eager to put their boots on and do the work that we do every day. Please give us a call. We want that. And then we want to hear from our family of brothers and sisters, as we called them on this sign up here. If there's something and JW, this applies to you, if there's something your church is doing, if there's something that your civic group is doing in Sampson County that you think is in need and deserving of additional financial support, we want to hear about that. Okay. Tell us. We don't have a formal system. We may do that in the future, perhaps, but we count on United Way to formalize the vetting process. We're close enough to the organizations we donate to that we feel like we know them. And we want to hear from our friends and supporters the things that they are involved in, and that needs further financial support.
This is an outstanding moment and conversation about people now, if they didn't feel like it before, that have the opportunity to not only participate, but they can give, they can get involved as volunteers, they can give you ideas if they want to do that, if they have things to donate, if they're not sure whether it's something you can use they shouldn't make that decision, call you and let you guys make the decision. Because they may think they don't want that, but it may be something you could use.
One mistake that people make is that they think that if they don't have a beautiful dining room table with 6 chairs in perfect condition, if they don't have that to donate, that we're not interested. That is not the case. I made the point earlier. We just need the ordinary stuff, and the smaller the better. You know, just a little lamp stand, a lamp, something to hang on the wall. You know, a small dinette set. I mean, that's what sells. So please don't assume anything. The best call we can get is if somebody's emptying out a house and somebody's leaving the area and they want us to go clean out the house.
Yeah.
Give us a call. We'll go clean it out for them.
Wow. Have you had some of those kinds?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want your rakes, your wheelbarrow, you know, all of that.
You don't have to have a yard sale. Just donate it, get your tax write-off, and take off. That sounds too simple. It's almost too good to be true.
But it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
You're right. It is too good to be true, but we're living it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really happening. I mean, it's just hard to believe, really.
So as we look at these things, Johnny, you just said that you do get calls like that where you just basically people say, you know, I'm through, or somebody passed away and they need to get rid of everything. The thing that interests me is there's probably thousands of people out there, or at least hundreds, that may hear this show and go, well, I've been wondering what I'm going to do with that. That room needs cleaning out, and that stuff's been there for 5-10 years, and I need to do something with it. Right here's your solution.
There you go.
The supply in Sampson County to fill our stores 100 times over, that supply is absolutely unlimited. You can just take it from me. So all we need is just to inform people to give us a call. We'll find a home for the things they don't want, and we can do things with it.
And the things that you can't do things with, you'll take care of the disposal of that.
Exactly.
We will.
Exactly. J-Dub, I want to add one other thing too, you know, and everything. We kind of partner with the city of Clinton, and especially we mentioned Mary Rose pretty much. We have done remodeling to 309. As you can see, the canopy, the new windows and that type of thing, because we want to partner with what she is doing, wants done here.
The downtown development. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we just recently redone the floor in 309. You know, and I was listening the other day. We get tremendous compliments of, you know, fixing that. That floor was in need of repair, and thank the Lord that we were able to do that in November of this year, to go through there and remove all of the decayed material and everything. And then, of course, you know, get the compliments, you know, that we do and everything. But it did not stop us one beat, you know, and everything. So I just want to give a shout out to the city of Clinton and to Mary Rose for their support, because they support us in other ways also that I'm not going to mention at this particular time.
One dedicated young lady, and we're so proud to have her as doing what she does.
And it helps us all that she holds those standards downtown.
Absolutely.
Because if she didn't do that, then it would devalue all of our properties.
We're going to be posting on the TV side this number, so folks can call 596-7023. That's 910-596-7023. Going forward, we've got about 20 seconds apiece here. I want to kind of give you last words, and I'll start with you, Johnny.
Well, first of all, J-Dub, I want to thank you for this opportunity to be presented before the community and everything. You know, and of course, thank the people that have given in the past and are still giving in donation. But we also want to thank the customers, because without the customers, it could not be converted into cash. And we encourage everyone to come during the hours that we mentioned earlier, you know, to take a look, see what's going on, and offer any suggestions that they may have.
You're not going to believe this, but I've run out of things to say. You've given such a sounding board today. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I've heard from both you guys, you know, if you're looking something, don't stop looking till you look. And what's the name of the store?
Furniture Plus,
not the shop.
The Shop on Main.
The Shop on Main. Don't stop till you look at the Shop on Main, because you might just find it. Just about everything you can think of might be there, right?
And JW, we have better parking than Walmart.
That's amazing.
We have about 8 spots for the Shop on Main that truly less than 10 steps from the car door to the front door.
And the only place I know that can pretty much guarantee you can beat the prices.
Well, you can't beat those prices.
and I think that's the beauty of it. And the idea that you can take stuff there that you hadn't used in so long, that's stuffing up and storing those rooms that you hadn't used in so long, and just drop it off with 5 steps. That is amazing. I think some of this is by design. I want to thank both of you for being here and for what you do in the community, and just anything that looks forward in thinking. You guys are doing it already. I certainly would not be one to give you any advice at all. I think the big thing is, and this is really amazing to me, as I sat here and it processed, and I thought, how many times you get charitable organizations coming in and saying the first thing, we don't really need your money, but if you got something to donate. Uniqueness is important. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. We look forward to hearing from you. Stay in touch with us. We look forward to seeing you again right here each and every Tuesday at 2:30. Stay tuned and may God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host J.W. Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.